Thank you so much, Iain Duncan Smith, for joining us. Can I get your reaction to Boris being in intensive care?
Well, my first reaction, of course, is one of shock. Boris, first and foremost, is an old friend of mine, and I really, send him the best wishes. My thoughts and prayers are with him. I'm certain that they're doing this with precaution. He's a robust character, and I wanted to pull through. So, on a personal level, for him and his family, and this is worrying time, but I have real faith in his ability to pull through this, and in the doctors and nurses that treat him. But it really does show, I think, to everybody that this is a terrible virus, and you simply can't take it for granted. Can't go mingling in parks and sitting down and doing things as some people did over the weekend. You've got to stick to the rules, which are stay at home, unless you have to go and get something from the shops, unless you have to, go for a walk or an exercise routine, but you come straight back and essentially support the NHS and save lives.
Of course, we all wish him the best. Now, we know that he is conscious, Boris Johnson is conscious at this time. He is not on a ventilator. What are your sources telling you about his current state?
Well, he's still upbeat. That's his nature. He has been advised that his situation has deteriorated slightly. The thing about this is, and a great friend of mine has already had this and had a very similar kind of process. When the virus hits you, and it's a really horrible feeling. I'm told at its worst, you feel terrible temperature, you can often have a hacking cough, a painful chest, that sort of thing, and feel completely washed out. But there can, as with all viruses, be a secondary infection that takes hold. And that secondary infection can develop quite quickly and needs to have treatment. Unlike the virus, which you can't treat directly, secondary infections, bacterial infections, you can treat, like pneumonia, etc. And you treat them with very, very focused antibiotics, and they have to be got into your system very quickly and in significant quantities. So I'm hoping that that's the position he's in at the moment, and that therefore this will stabilize quite quickly. I'm told he's in intensive care because they just want to make sure that if he needs a respirator, there is literally no delay, because he'll be next to them, but he is not on a ventilator himself.
And what's your kind of confidence in Dominic Raab, who's obviously having to take over the day-to-day duties whilst Boris is in hospital?
Well, I have a lot of confidence in Dominic. I've known him for a while. He's, again, a good friend. I think he's a very competent minister. He was known for some time that this might happen. I obviously wish that he wouldn't. But, he is ready for it. And what he is doing is stepping in for the Prime Minister until the Prime Minister is able to take back control. And the honest truth is people should be calm about this, because there is a chain of command. Cabinet ministers know what they've got to do, get on with their jobs. There is no panicking. There's very clear control. The civil service know that they move their chain of command, as it were, to Dominic Raab. But all cabinet ministers can rally round and will rally round and make sure that they settle their issues between themselves calmly and through the cabinet process.
And finally, what do you envisage as being sort of the next steps? What happens beyond here if Boris's sort of situation goes even worse or better? What do we expect to happen next?
Well, I'm not going to speculate about what's worse. Where we are right now is that the chain of command has taken over. Dominic Raab is the Prime Minister in name. That is to say, he's the Deputy Prime Minister, but he takes over the reins. And he will exercise that authority, bearing in mind already the decisions that are made that he has signed up to. So you won't see a massive change, but he will be the person that all final decisions will have to go to if they're unable to be made by a cabinet minister. And the cabinet secretary, who's a civil servant, the most senior civil servant, will also be on his side now, will be right next to him, informing him of what things Boris had talked to him about before he became too ill to continue.
Great. Thank you so much, Iain Duncan Smith, for giving us your time tonight. Thank you.
Pleasure.